Hi everybody, and a warm welcome back to Maple Leaf Customs. I'm Andrew, and on the bench today is a Hot Wheels Nissan 370Z, which debuted in the 2010 New Models series, succeeding the Nissan 350Z. Mine's a 2015 release, and it's a loose casting, so it's got a few nicks and bumps on it, but no worries, I can fix those right up. This is my entry for the monthly Four Horsemen Invitational. The Four Horsemen are Paul from Diecast Graveyard, Xavier from Diecast Show Customs, myself representing Maple Leaf Customs, and this month's guest horseman is Jeremy, the Diecast Sheriff. There's the next two cars you want to have for September and October, and if you participate in any of these invitationals, make sure you send your glamour pic to fourhorsemendiecast@gmail.com, and we'll include you in the recap video. The theme this month is hill climb, and that's going to require a little bit of research and some special fabrication on my part, but that's the fun of the hobby, isn't it? It'll be really interesting to see everybody's different take using the same casting, but coming up with different results. First step is putting the casting into the paint stripper to do away with the original black and the tampos that are on there. Looks cool sped up like that, doesn't it? And after a few moments, it slides off like zombie skin. Love it when that happens. But I always take a moment with a wire brush attachment on my Dremel to go over the whole body, taking any remaining paint flecks away. I'm looking for casting lines and imperfections, and this one looks great. So, a little degreaser to clean up the casting before I apply the primer. A little test spray on a spoon of this Carib blue that I mixed up to match the interior. And on goes the tack coat. I do that little test spray just to make sure I've got the pressure set right, and I like the paint mix and make sure the airbrush isn't spitting out anything that it shouldn't, and that makes for a better result. Looking good so far, and a couple more coats will follow. I want to draw your attention to a couple of upcoming specials, mainly my Fury Road Doofwagon build that's coming up in September. I've got some schematics that I downloaded from the internet to help guide me along. Wish me luck. And to say thank you to all of you for 3,000 subs. I'm doing a 3 Customs giveaway, also in September. The Pikes Peak International Hill Climb is an annual automobile hill climb to the summit of Pikes Peak in Colorado, USA. The track measures 12.5 miles and has over 156 turns from the start at mile 7 on Pikes Peak Highway to the finish at 14,115 feet. It's what happens when you let engineers have free rein. No regulations, no power limits. It's the home of crazy, powerful, high downforce monsters. More on that in a moment. But first, a very special community shout out for a new online friend of mine named Aiden. Aiden is a young man who lives with cerebral palsy, and on his YouTube channel he shows that he is not limited by any disability. He's a real outdoorsman, scuba diving, rock climbing. Aiden says anything is possible, and I'm absolutely inspired by his attitude. He's connected with me online, taking an interest in the hobby and asking about exactly how to get started, and I want to help him out. So I'm challenging all of my viewers of this video to go by Aiden's channel, say hello, and leave him a thumbs up, because my channel is about more than just the little cars. It's about making a difference in someone's life by some kind words and encouragement, and I think we can give young Aiden a good boost, don't you? I sure appreciate that. The link is in the description as always, and tell him you came by from Maple Leaf Customs. Cool. Here you can see that I'm scratch building some of these exaggeratingly big spoilers based on the research pictures that I found for hill climb vehicles, And I do that with a couple of styrene plates and rods and some thin cement glue. Remember, it's all about the downforce in this sport. Lots of micro cutting and sanding and forming all of the various pieces, coming together nicely. It's going to be the main feature of this little car on the theme of hill climbers. Look at that. I need to put a couple of arms on it for mounting. That's going to be the very last step in the whole build. I did a dual splitter for the nose of the 370Z. And although I'm not going to change the color of the interior, having gone through the trouble of matching that for the body, but I do like to black out the wheel wells from the inside, so if you ever look through, you don't see bright blue, you'll just see nothing. The grille on the front, which was originally in gray or silver, has now been blacked out as well. These are the original Hot Wheels that came with the casting. They're plastic and they're not that bad, but they're not so great. So why not do an upgrade to some Samed wheels with real rubber treads on them? And no, I don't intend to use this orangey red rims. So off come the tires. I do a little primer on them, and when that's dried up, I'm just going to black them out as well, because this is not the main feature of the car, so they don't really need to stand out. But they're super tires, as are all of the product from Samed Wheels. When you make your next order, be sure to use the promo code MAPLELEAF, and they're going to throw in a free gift with what you order online. www.samedwheels.com. Now the splitter on the front and the rear spoiler get the black airbrush treatment, and that's going to ensure they stand out in stark contrast to the Carib blue, which is the main body of the car. I'm using some artistic license now just to dress up some of the accessories with some decals that I've made and printed at home, which I find to be very cost effective, including this striped side panel theme with a basic racing car number. And don't worry about that blue number 4 background, that's not going to remain like that for too long. Is I'm going to put some ghost white decals down as a base for some monochromatic black and white ones on top, including over the door numbers, like so. Takes a little adjustment to get it exactly in the right spot over top of the ghost white decals. And a little bit of practice, it's really pretty easy to do. If you're wondering what that says, it's the Nismo, powered by Nissan. It's the logo for the racing division of Nissan. And there's a little larger one that goes right on the hood. I quickly finish off the decal work with the number 4 tags that go on the doors and my Maple Leaf Customs channel logo sticker that goes underneath. Time for reassembly now. After a couple of coats of clear went on there, the glass got refurbished with just a little bit of fine wet dry sanding and some plastic polish. The plastic base didn't get much detail work. That's not what we're looking at on this particular car. These spoilers are the main feature. And as I said, it's got to be done at the very end because these are simply going to be glued on. I use my helping hands to get the right height for the rear spoiler, and the nose splitter also had to be elevated from underneath just for the glue to dry. And look at that. You might be thinking those are way too far out big, but go back and look at the research pics or do your own Google search and you'll find that that's exactly what the engineers do for the aerodynamics and the tremendous downforce that they want to plaster these cars right to the tarmac on Pikes Peak and other hill climbing tracks. I was very careful to make sure these are scaled to size. This one's a roller, like all the cars that leave the shop here. Looking back now on the original state of the casting, it looks pretty plain Jane, doesn't it, with all the hill climb accessories stripped away. But I had great fun doing some research and scratch building these parts to make it a Pikes Peak competitor. I'm especially happy with the splitter on the front and the spoiler. It's pretty hard to work in this small scale when you get right down to it, but also very satisfying in the end. I'll put this in a custom card blister pack, although it most definitely will not go to the Goodwill store because these parts could easily be broken off and swallowed by kids. But I have a pretty good Rolodex filled with people who are interested in these customs, and I'll make sure this one finds a good home. Thank you for visiting my channel today. Don't forget about my buddy Aiden, okay? Drive carefully. It's coffee time.